It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Friday episode of Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. Coming to you on this, the 23rd day of August. Coming to you back in studio in Forest, Virginia. Brought to you by MSC Cruises and Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around. A whole bunch of stories this morning, folks. I'm trying to catch up. As all of you know, I missed 2 days in a row due to travel problems and restrictions. But anyway, here's a list of what we're going to talk about this morning. The lead story, Port Canaveral Reverses Terminal Decision. Also today, Gilma remains major hurricane. Cancellation of Princess Cruises. Financial deal for Meyer Werft. Isle of Man incident. Passenger confronts a comedian. Disney cancels cruises. Fire causes cancellation. Spirit dumps Bimini. American Liberty Christened. And groundbreaking for the new MSC terminal. Wow, that and lots more here live this morning at 11 o'clock on Friday's Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. Today, folks, is National Cuban Sandwich Day. Now, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I love Cuban sandwiches. I had one on this last cruise, as a matter of fact. But I thoroughly enjoy Cuban sandwiches. But I'm wondering, and folks, please, I am making no political statement here, but I'm wondering why our government didn't outlaw Cuban sandwiches when they outlawed Cuban travel. I mean, that would go hand in hand, wouldn't it? And folks, it's not political. Trump canceled Cuban travel. Biden did nothing to restore it. So I blame both equally. So this is not political. But I wonder why we still have Cuban sandwiches. That's just a thought. If you're listening via the podcast, I apologize for the last 2 days, guys. I will try to make up some shows here. Probably this weekend. So, I mean, I got to have some news first. But I'll try to get the shows made up. All right, if you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big guys, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, done any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy, no matter where he is in this world. If you're listening via the podcast, there's always a link in the description. So you can jump over to the video feed anytime you want to check out clips or interviews or just want to see the show. There's always a link there. All I got to do is click on it and come on. You can even get in the chat room with all these people that pay absolutely no attention to me and just chat. That's okay too. In all fairness, folks, I have to comment a little bit about this past 10 days or so. And this probably is going to surprise you about what I'm going to say. Because clearly, I love Alaska. Don't get me wrong, I still do. To me, it's one of the most exciting places to visit. I love the scenery. I love seeing the wildlife you can see. Yes, I'm hampered somewhat by I can't take a lot of excursions many of you can take, but I'm working on that. I adore Alaska. Oh, goodness gracious, cruising with Gretchen and Fred, and of course, Gary. I mean, that was just wonderful from the word go. The Grand Princess, although there were some accessibility issues, The Grand Princess is one of the finest cruise ships I've ever been on. The food was outstanding. The service, outstanding. The friendliness of the staff, there's just none better. The cruise itself and where it went was great. Everything about that was good except for the accessibility issues. That's a whole nother subject for another day and a post on my blog, which will be coming up here when I write it. But I hate flying so badly. That's the first thing. And it's not, I've always loved to fly. The act of being in an airplane, the act of looking out the window, if you have a window seat, I've always loved that, still do. But I am so totally uncomfortable now with my physical condition on a plane. And the deterioration of my breathing has made it even worse. In the past, up until this cruise and flying, 4 different flights, because that's, Richmond, I flew to Charlotte, from Charlotte to Vancouver, and then from Anchorage to Dallas, and Dallas back to Richmond. So there were 4 flights. In the past, I have ridden my wheelchair up to the door of the plane. I have to, put it in gear so they can push it. I have to pull the battery and take the battery with me. So I carry a bag, which has the important things if something would happen. I've got the charger for my oxygen. I've got the charger for my chair. I've got then the battery for the chair, my meds, my extra selfie stick for my camera. I don't know what else is in that bag, but it's pretty heavy, a bag. And then I've always tried to get seats at the front of the plane or close to it. I don't pay for first class. I can't afford that. But, the first row after that or second row. And I generally book my travel early enough in advance that I get those preferred rows for me. Because of the screw up with the airline on this one, I had 2 flights that were toward the back of the plane. I couldn't get there. There's no way I could have walked it. I can't walk that far. So they had to use an aisle chair. Never again, folks. That aisle chair was awful. And my body just doesn't fit in a chair between the seats. So I was constantly getting hit, banged, smushed. I've got new bruises everywhere from the 2 aisle chairs. Won't do that again. Aisle 9 was my second flight yesterday. That's not far from where I've been walking. Aisle 6, aisle 7. So just a couple more rows. I couldn't do it. I almost passed out getting to aisle 9 from my breathing. The walking causes the breathing to just go to hell, even when I got my oxygen going. So my days of flying, I have 1 more flight left. I think are over, folks. The other thing, and I talked about this a couple times during the week, was by the schedule that I had was awful, because to do my show at 11 o'clock, which I want to do, I want to keep it consistent. To do my show at 11 o'clock, that's 7 a.m. ship's time. in Alaska. So 7 a.m. ship's time, I actually had to start working on the show to do my research, to do my due diligence. You know, it doesn't, I can't just push a button and have the news for the day. I mean, I have sources literally around the world now that I check with daily on what's going on. It's a 4 to 5 hour job, guys, to produce this show. That meant that I was starting at 2 in the morning, which totally killed me having any kind of nightlife on the cruise. So I'm throwing away at least a third to a half of the value of a cruise to do the show. And it's not, I'm not trying to get out of doing the show. Don't take that wrong. It's just that, well, we're going to have to make some changes along the way here in the future. The end result of the two things, the schedule and what the planes did to me, and I can't sleep on airplanes. So the return flight home was 48 hours, literally, with no sleep. Not a wink. How did I come up with 48 hours? Well, I sat in the airport for 10 hours waiting for the damn flight. Then I flew to Dallas. I had to wait 6 hours to get the next flight. I finally get into, and that was, you know, after a bit of a day. I get into Richmond. I have to drive home 3.5 hours. So by the time I got home last night, I was literally exhausted, shaking exhaustion. Amanda had fixed dinner. I sat down at the dining room table. I ate one bite. That's not good for a big fat man like me. One bite. I couldn't eat. I was too tired to eat. I got up, crawled in my chair, and that was it. I was done until this morning. So those two things are going to change unless the people can come up with something about my breathing. Because, I mean, all the reports had told me that my breathing was deteriorating. I believe it now. So, not changing my schedule. As it sits now, I will do every cruise that I have on my schedule. So don't get wrong. I'm not changing it. But I may have to look at my life after that. So, anyway, so much for personal stuff. I got a bunch of news stories. I'll be back with them after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, guys, we're going to start off today in Port Canaveral. By a 4-1 vote, members of the Port Canaveral Commission reversed the decision to construct a new cruise terminal on the north side of the facility. The August 21st decision follows concerns raised by officials of the Florida Department of Commerce and the Department of Transportation, who had issued a letter to the port commissioners on August 2nd. The challenge from the state officials centered on whether the addition of a terminal in the proposed location would affect the planned expansion of liquefied natural gas facilities that support Space Florida, the Space Aerospace Division. While Port Canaveral is a major hub for the cruise industry and provides LNG to the ships, it also supports the space industry and LNG. The fuel lowers emissions. That is a key environmental component for the cruise industry, which is now routinely constructing cruise ships that are powered by LNG. The two high officials told the commission that their decision to build the terminal must be reversed, although it was not clear why they believed the new cruise facilities would impact any space industry infrastructure. The State of Commerce also questioned the commission's actions regarding an $8 million grant for a road project that would lead to the new cruise terminal, saying it would review the port's compliance with grant criteria. In today's weather, I'm pleased to announce there's nothing in the Atlantic. However, not so in the Pacific. Gilma remains major hurricane over open waters. Currently, she's located about 1,015 miles west-southwest of the southern tip of Baja, which is about 1,905 miles east of Hilo, Hawaii. Maximum sustained winds are 120 miles an hour. Present movement is west-northwest at 6, going very slow. The minimum central pressure is down to 959, currently steady. Gradual acceleration toward the west-northwest and west is expected during the next several days. Gilma currently is a Category 3 hurricane, weakening is forecast during the next couple of days, but Gilma is expected to remain a hurricane through much of the upcoming weekend. Just a little further to the west, Hone strengthened slightly, well to the east-southeast of the Hawaiian Islands. Currently, she is located about 720 miles east-southeast of Hilo, which is about 930 miles east-southeast of Honolulu. Maximum sustained winds are 45 miles an hour. Present movement is west at 14. The minimum pressure is 1,003 and falling. A tropical storm watch is in effect for Hawaii County. Interests elsewhere in Hawaii should monitor the progress of Hone. This is expected to continue during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, the center of Hone is expected to pass near or south of the Big Island Saturday night into Sunday. Some gradual strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days. Could be hurricane strength, folks. The estimated minimum pressure is 1,003 and dropping. Now back to the east of those two storms, the Red X, an area of low pressure located several hundred miles to the south-southwest of the southern tip of Baja California, continues to produce a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms to the west of its center. Environmental conditions appear conducive for further development of this system, and a tropical depression is likely to form by this weekend, while moving west to west-northwestward at around 10 miles an hour. The chance of further development is high at 70% for the next 48 hours and 80% over the next 7 days. So the weather eyes, folks, have got to be aimed at the Pacific. I just realized that the map didn't really show a perspective from Gilma and Hone to the Hawaiian Islands. This will give you an idea about spreading the picture just a little bit on how close this is getting to Hawaii, which is, I mean, it's not totally rare, but it doesn't happen very often with hurricanes. In today's weather, Princess Cruises has announced the cancellation of multiple voyages aboard Crown Princess scheduled for September and December of 2025. The cancellation follows the rescheduling of the ship's dry dock maintenance period. The originally scheduled journey in September would depart from Sydney, Australia, traveling to Singapore, was an 18-night cruise calling in Brisbane, Arley Beach and Darwin in Australia, Lombok in Indonesia, and Penang and Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. According to the cruise line, the cancellations on board the vessel impact several key itineraries, including departures on September 26th, November 4th, and December 21st, all in 2025. The cruise has now been rescheduled, and Princess Cruises has automatically transferred bookings to an 18-day Asia and Australia voyage departing November the 11th. It will communicate the full itinerary details to passengers by September 15th of 2024. Top-level federal officials in Germany, including Chancellor Olaf Scholz, visited the Meyer Werft shipyard headquarters in Papenburg to acknowledge a restructuring deal has been reached, appearing to solve the shipyard's financial troubles that have made headlines in recent months. The personal visit by Scholz and Lower Saxony's Minister-President Stephen Weil on August 22nd followed a restructuring report from auditing and consulting firm Deloitte. A statement from the officials indicate the final details still need clarification, but that work on the realignment of the company will proceed at full speed. The Meyer Werft Group, with 2 shipyards in Germany and 1 in Finland, is a key player in the construction of cruise ships. Wow, if any of you guys are available on September 15th, here's one that's going to be hard to pass up. And there are some other dates for this cruise, but the best one is the 15th. 9-day, 8-night Bahamas cruise starting at $370. That's right, folks. $370 for a 9-day, 8-night cruise. On the MSC Meraviglia out of Brooklyn. She stops in Miami, Ocean Key, and Nassau, several days at sea. Sail on MSC Meraviglia from New York, departing September 15th. Rates are as follows. Interior, Bella Bella, $741 per cabin. That's $370 per person. Ocean View, Bella Bella, $941 per cabin. That's $420 per person. And Balcony Bella Bella is $1361 per cabin. That's $815.51 per person. Awesome deal on the Meraviglia, my favorite MSC ship. Sailing September 15th. Just call me, Chillie Cruises, 434-258-9264. Hopefully you'll get to go on the Meraviglia. Part of what makes comedy shows funny is that the jokes can get a bit adult-oriented, let's put it that way, especially at R-rated performances. But while the jokes are only intended to make people laugh, they may not be for everyone. Last week, professional comedian Robert Hines clearly offended the wrong passenger after a fight broke out during his late-night set on board the MSC Seashore. And a video of the confrontation has gone viral on social media. Hines, who is known for the viral Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage YouTube video, has been viewed more than 27 million times, was performing on the 5,000 passenger ship as a guest performer as part of a 3-night cruise to Nassau and Ocean Key. A fight, this is a quote, by the way, a fight was beginning between 2 guys during the 11:30 comedy show. The comedian and cruise director calmed the situation, and the guys sat down. The comedian made jokes about the fight. This lady got mad, then this. The video shows an unidentified woman who was likely intoxicated go on stage to confront the comedian. She was then escorted out while Hines made some off-color jokes about the woman and the situation. The Isle of Man Steam Packet Company's primary passenger ferry Manxman sustained damage while docking at Heysham Port early Thursday according to an operator. Fortunately, no injuries were reported among passengers or crew, although specific details of the incident remain undisclosed. Passengers scheduled on Manxman's 2:15 a.m. return service were transferred to a backup vessel, Bimini, which departed shortly after 5 a.m. This delay caused significant disruption to the scheduled 8:45 a.m. Haitian-bound sailing. Increasing gales over Irish Sea further complicated the situation, resulting in the cancellation of all afternoon sailings to and from Liverpool, as well as remaining services between Douglas and Heysham. The steam packet company cited both the adverse weather and berth slot restrictions at the port as reasons for the cancellations, emphasizing that passenger and crew safety were paramount. Following a fire on board Adora Mediterranea, Adora Cruises has canceled 2 sailings of the ship as repairs and cleanup are underway. This fire, of course, was reported on Chillie Cruises last week. The fire in the ship's engine room was caused by a failure of the air conditioning system, and 3 crew members were treated for smoke inhalation. At the time, the ship was docked in Jeju, South Korea. So a couple cruises canceled from the fire. Guests booked on upcoming 2 sailings from Disney Dream have been notified that their cruises have been canceled. The impacted cruises are November the 8th and November the 13th departures, both in 2025. Disney Dream is sailing from Fort Lauderdale at that time. The November 8th, 2025 departure was to have been a 5-night Western Caribbean sailing. Meanwhile, the 13th departure was to have been a 4-night Bahama visit, and include their newest private island, Lighthouse Point, which has just welcomed its first guests in June of this year. Very little information was provided about the reasoning behind the cancellations, other than operational needs. Carnival Cruise Line notified guests of itinerary adjustments affecting the 2025 to 2026 sailings of Carnival Spirit. The changes indicate the cruise line has removed Port of Bimini in the Bahamas for 10 sailings from November 2025 through March 2026. The altered sail dates include November 8th, November 22nd, December 6th, December 20th, December 28th in 2025. Additional sailings on January 31st, February 14th, 18th, March 14th, and 18th are also impacted. The company did not reveal the reason behind the removal of the port from its lineup. However, the port, which first opened in 2025, is owned and operated by Resorts World Bimini. It serves as connection to a large beachfront complex that includes a hotel, casino, marina, and shopping district. Maybe Carnival thought it'd be too much competition. I don't know. Norwegian Cruise Line has announced and opened for bookings 225 new cruises that will depart in 2026. Some of the sailings apart are port-intensive cruises with no sea days. I had originally planned on this story being specifically for Hot Air Tom, until I found out he's already booked 16 of these cruises. These 225 cruises will visit 150 unique ports with 8 Norwegian ships offered cruises to Europe. There will be 22 overnight port visits in Europe, giving guests plenty of time to spend in the top ports in the region. Here's a look at the new cruises that were announced this morning by NCL. Norwegian Escape will sail 7-night cruises to the Western Caribbean from New Orleans beginning April 12th, 2026 through May the 10th. The ship will then head to Miami for the summer, visiting the same ports. In the fall, the ship will reposition to New York for Canada and New England cruises. Norwegian Spirit will offer 11 and 13-night cruises to the South Pacific that visit New Caledonia, Fiji, Samoa, French Polynesia, and the Hawaiian Islands. Embarkation ports include Sydney, Papeete, and Honolulu, as well as Lutoka in Fiji. During the summer, Norwegian Spirit will sail cruises to Alaska and Hawaii on 4 unique fire and ice voyages from the middle of July until September 1st. Norwegian Viva, Norwegian's newest cruise ship, will sail 9 and 10-day cruises in the Mediterranean and to Greece. Port stops include Turkey, Malta, Italy, Greece, Montenegro, and Croatia, with an overnight in Istanbul. Norwegian Epic will sail from Barcelona and Rome between May and October of 2026. The cruises will offer longer days in ports that range from 10 to 17 hours. Norwegian Dawn will offer cruises from Lisbon and Barcelona between April 2026 and October 2026. The ship will have late night port visits in Mallorca and Ibiza. Norwegian Gem will sail from Barcelona, Venice, and Rome. The cruises from Italy will have no sea days and will visit a port every single day of the cruise. Destinations included on these sailings are Greece, Montenegro, and Croatia. Norwegian Pearl will island hop in Greece from May 2026 through October 2026. Norwegian Sun will offer cruises to the Baltic from Copenhagen, Denmark, and Helsinki. There will be few sea days with port stops on almost every night of these sailings. Norwegian Sky will begin her second season in Europe on April 19, 2026 from Le Havre and Copenhagen. The ship will also visit the British Isles, where the cruise line will make her maiden port stop in Portree, Scotland. Norwegian Star will sail 10 and 11-night cruises to Iceland, with 11-day cruises featuring an overnight in Reykjavik. Wow. There you go, hot air Tom. A lot of new cruises from Norwegian. American Cruise Line, newest ship, the American Liberty, was christened in Newport. The ceremony took place at Port Adams State Park, where the 100-passenger ship was docked as part of its inaugural cruise. The American Liberty's christening celebration included cruise guests, community members, officials from Sail Newport and Fort Adams State Park, as well as a small group of American's executives and crew members. Charles Robertson, president and CEO of American Cruise Line, gave remarks, as did America's Liberty's godmother, Claire Harrington, vice commodore of the New York Yacht Club. The christening was followed by a traditional New England lobster bake at Fort Adams State Park, where guests also took part in a discussion and live demonstration of the region's newest Native American cooking process. As the third ship in American Cruise Line's Coastal Cat series, the American Liberty set sail on its maiden voyage on the 15th. Departing from Providence, the sold-out voyage explored destinations in New England, such as New Bedford, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard. Construction is underway at the Port of Galveston to convert an existing cargo warehouse into the port's fourth cruise terminal. The $151 million cruise complex at Pier 16 will include a 165,000 square foot terminal and a $55 million parking garage. The terminal will be home to MSC Seascape when she opens there in November of 2025. Cruise around the world with the Will Model C2. That's the chair that I use. Our chairs will easily fit through accessible cabin doors and can navigate those tight spaces and crowded places. To see if Will may be right for you, click on the link below to schedule a test drive. Just tell them to use code CHILLIE for all your mobility needs. That's Scooter. All right, that's Scooter Round, of course, owned by Will Power Chairs. And here's the deal, guys. If you're interested or you need a chair, right now you can get the Will C2, that's the model that I use, for an incredible deal. This is a limited time offering. It goes until the end of this month, so you've only got a week. Save $1,500 on the Will Model C2. Don't miss out on this opportunity to own a refurbished, like new, Will Model C2 power chair. That's what it looks like if you want to see one straight up. But save $1,500 on, and that's $39.99 total with the savings on any totally refurbished, almost like new unit. Okay. And it includes a year of warranty coverage with product registration. That's a $350 value. With financing options, you can have a Will Model C2 for as low as $150 a month. Hurry, this offer ends on August 31st. The Will Model C2. I tell you, folks, it's an absolutely fabulous chair. All right, that's going to end the news portion of today's show. Told you we had a bunch of stories. Let's go see who's fussing at me over in the chat room today. And I haven't had a chance to keep up with this because I was pretty busy. Ashley says, hey. Faha says, hey. Hello, how are you? Abdul Samed, hello, how are you doing? Those are all people from X, by the way, folks, because I know they don't show up in y'all's chat. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike, from over on the other side of the pond. Where there's Gretchen. I'm glad you guys made it home safe and sound. Glad to be home, she says. Yeah, me too. I love this cruise. Well, boy, it's all the little things that got to me. Oh, my goodness. And I mentioned this earlier, folks, and hopefully I'll try to make up for the shows that I missed, maybe this weekend if we got any news at all. And that is, if I wake up, it's just, I'm liable to fall asleep and be done for the weekend. Todd's with us. Good morning, Todd. Mike says hello to everybody. Sounded as if you all enjoyed the trip. Oh, Mike, we did. It was so much fun. Gretchen and Fred are, they're just delightful. Of course, I'd never actually met Fred. I've known Gretchen for years. But, wow, it was great. And then Gary and we're like kindred spirits. By the way, we may not see Gary for a while. He flew to Sacramento to visit with his kids. And, I did hear from him that he got into Sacramento safe and sound. He didn't have any issues with that. And the room that I was supposed to stay in with him might be the nicest handicap accessible room I've ever seen. He sent me pictures of it. I'll load those up tomorrow. I had too much to do today or the next show. I'll use the pictures of that to show you what a hotel room should look like for anybody that's wheelchair accessible. So, wow. Anyway, I don't know if we'll hear from Gary or not because he's with family now for a while. And of course, it's seven. What time is it? 7:45 in the morning out there. No, 8:45 in the morning out there. They're only 3 hours difference. All right, so there's Hot Air Tom. Says good morning to everybody. How have the Alaska travelers recovered from the long trip home? Well, I talked extensively about that. Mike says, hi, Tom, hope you're well. Gretchen says, making a speedy recovery. It was a great trip, Mike. Thanks for asking. Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Hey, Kenneth. From Fort Myers, Florida. That's right. Kenneth's in Florida. Awesome. I can understand the Port Canaveral problem since that area targeted for the terminal is right at the SpaceX area. I thought they were looking to do something where the restaurants are located. Yeah, I knew where it was supposed to be. Just relocate those restaurants and build a terminal there. Well, apparently that's not the issue. The issue was or one of the major issues is with them using up the LNG supply that they need for the space industry. I had no idea that that was an issue, but apparently it is. Ella says, how are you doing today? Oh, that looks like a sex bomber to me. Can you share your contact so I can text you so we can learn more? Well, you can follow this channel and all of my contact information is there. Emily's with us. Good morning, Chillie and the gang. She says, I have a few minutes here to hang out. We are taking Fiona back to the vet to hopefully remove the new staples. That's good. Sonny's with us. Hello, Sonny down in Mississippi. There's Bob. Welcome back, Chillie. Hope you had a great trip. I was talking with my PCC at NCL this morning about the interactive air for Chillie and I to return from Barcelona in April of 2025. Sonny says, hope Fiona's getting better. Option was United, which was good, but still economy and double the price we have now. Not so good. Maybe Chillie could splurge and buy us business class. I don't know. Let me know what it's going to cost. I mean, I don't splurge on air much, hot air Tom. But, we'll see. Joanne's with us. Says, happy Friday, everybody. So sorry I had a hard time flying. Yeah, and it was amazing with all the trouble we've had with airlines over the last, I don't know how long, 6-8 months. Every one of my flight was on time. I didn't have any delays. They were just, they were fine. I didn't have any trouble with the chair. I didn't have any trouble with the oxygen. None of the grief that I've had in the past here and there and everywhere. But I'm just so totally uncomfortable on an airplane anymore. Not to mention the walking issue or the aisle chair issue. Never will I do that again. Gretchen says air is the worst and first or business class, but any flight as long as yesterday's, I'm booking it. I close my eyes, grip my teeth, and open my wallet. Yeah, you're getting first class instead of business class. We upgraded to economy plus, still not great. Sonny says, hugs for you, Chillie. You do such a great job with these shows. Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that. You are supposed to rest on a cruise. Maybe no more research on cruises. Just report about the ship. Now that one's kind of interesting. Yeah, let me put that one in the thought process, Sonny. Do live streams from around the ship, show the ship, figure out how to do the stream and show some of the various elements on the ship. That's interesting. That one's going to go in a thinking box. That's a good possibility, Sonny. Thank you for that. Emily says, I'm very sorry, Chillie. You do what's best for you and your health. Well, yeah, I'm not. This technically wasn't a health issue. I'm sure it's related to it. It was a endurance issue because I was by the end of the cruise, I was worn out. Totally worn out. I mean, I'm not tired from a cruise. I'm just tired from all of it together on this one. So is that related to health? Yeah, probably. I mean, obviously my breathing issue, but that doesn't matter where I am. And I noticed last night, this is going to sound ridiculous and not so politically correct. I got home. I pulled literally up to the front door. I didn't park where I normally park and unload my scooter. I pulled up to the front door because I had to pee really bad. So, I mean, I hadn't gone to the bathroom since Richmond Airport. I mean, if I had to, I would have stopped. But I didn't until I got close to home, and then I didn't want to stop and go through all the unloaded the scooter and all. I waited till I got home. So I stopped the car right literally at the front door. I grabbed the computer bag, which is and my oxygen unit, which were with me on the front seat. I got into the house. I dropped the computer bag. My brother-in-law was in the living room. I said, I got to pee. And he said, your sister's in your bathroom. I said, oh, yeah. And he said, just go back and use ours. Well, that was another, how far is that? 25, maybe 30 feet, from where I'd go to my bathroom, across the dining room, through their bedroom and into their bathroom. Almost passed out. And I had my oxygen on. So it's the walking that does it. It's not the breathing. I mean, other than, the breathing the breathing part is that I have no air. But it's walking that triggers it, that drops my O2 level. I got in there, not only did I almost lose it, you know what I mean, but I almost passed out in the process. So anyway, so health related, I suppose, but I'm not sure if there's anything I can do about it. Apparently not. Good point, Sonny. Chillie, you could do shows on the ship. You are on wheels. Many YouTubers do that as well as reporting. Yeah, because I could do that, might be too, and ride around a little bit as I'm doing a live stream using my phone instead of doing a stationary live stream. That's got some possibilities. I might add some of these things together here, guys. Good idea, Emily. Since NCL pulled the ship building from Meyer Werft, I wonder how they would be doing. A quality of the Italian-built ship is not near as good as the German build. What is that lady wearing? Emily asked. I don't know. I suppose that's supposed to be a cocktail dress. I don't know. That might be one of those spinkly. What the hell is that? Twinkly, sequiny things. Anyway. All right. Hotter Tom says, even every other day, every other day show with a time adjustment for your convenience would be fine. Compromise is doable. Yeah. Emily says, gotta run, guys. Talk to you later. All right. Good luck with Fiona. Sonny says, bye, Emily. Keep you posted on Fiona. Emily says, okay. Gretchen gives her a thumbs up. Check-in starts today for our return cruise from Quebec. Yeah, I saw that this morning. And no, I haven't done it, but it'll get done today sometime. Finish my port at your 4 a.m. potty break. We're talking a lot about potty breaks today out there, Tom. That fit right in. Emma says hello. That's a different Emma from our Emma. Katie says, I'm hanging at Charlotte Airport. Oh, I'm sorry, Katie. All our flights were early, Gretchen says. Yeah, it all went well, other than, I hate sitting around the airport. God, I hate that. And with the change flight, I had no choice. There was the transfer lady, who was really nice, was from New Zealand. Driving the bus. And by the way, a big full-size bus, that's the first time I've been on one that was accessible. Man, that was sweet. It's down toward the back end, where the bathroom is on most buses, okay? Like on a Greyhound or something like that. It's just in front of that, and they open the door on the side, and there's a lift. So it picks you up and takes you up to the floor level, and you just roll in, and they have like, I think it's the rear 3 seats smashed together. So they take those seats out, but they're there so they can use them if they don't have somebody in a wheelchair. And then you just steer the chair in, and they strap you down. And it was awesome. So I was sitting literally right there at a window. Unfortunately, for that particular drive from Whittier down to Anchorage, I wasn't on the scenic side. Gary was. He sat right opposite me in a chair there, and got to look. His side of the bus was better than mine for that one. Although I still was able to see a beluga whale up close. I mean, it was no more than 10, 12 feet from the edge of the bus. I mean, we were right along the water, and the whale was right there. Couldn't have been 2 or 3 feet offshore when it did its thing. And it's something to see a beluga whale. That's nothing like any other whale I've ever seen. But anyway, back to the portion that I was getting to. She suggested some of you might, if you got long layovers, you might want to go into town and do something, because they run shuttles back every hour to the airport. But are they accessible shuttles? And I was afraid to even try that. Plus, it was raining. And I couldn't see going downtown, which are, the things to do. There's the restaurants that I love, all that business. It was raining, and then I didn't want to take a chance on getting wet and then have to, deal with the next 36 hours on planes and getting home. Or, not having an accessible transportation to get back. So I sat in the airport from, it was 10 o'clock when we got there. And my flight was at 8 something. So that's 10 hours any way you cut it. And I couldn't check in until I was able to check in with the airline. The airline, I didn't understand this one. American Airline opened 2 hours before my flight, not before my boarding, 2 hours before the flight. So my flight was at, I don't remember exactly what it was, 8:15. They didn't open until 6:15. That doesn't give you much time to get through TSA and all that crap. So I had my suitcase and stuff. I couldn't check it. So I had nothing to stay in the outside part of the airport. I mean, not outside, the terminal part where all the various check-in stuff is, where you start going through TSA. So that was just awful. Anyway, all our flights were early. Yeah, I said that. All right, business class on both United and TAP is way too much more than the cruise cost. Okay, that's bad. Not even a good economy-based fare with TAP. So I guess it will be BOGO Air, maybe with a lucky upgrade with points once NCL books it. Okay. Kenneth says, Chillie, in time, you should just go on card and sell back with us on Queen Mary. Well, the only problem with that, Kenneth, is I'm going to be gone an awfully long time for the issues here at home. And another cruise on top of that, I would love it. And I'd love getting out of flying. That's going to be my one and only ever flight. So I will not fly again. If I can't get there on a boat or drive there, I'm not going. So I like Sonny's idea. Drop the prep time and just do Chillie chats. Yeah, I kind of like that. Gretchen says it's pricey. I agree. Hot Air says, Kenneth, have you booked your flight from Rome to Barcelona? No, we haven't booked it yet. We were deciding if we should stay by Chillie's rule and go in a day early or the same day. If you guys are just going to get a transfer from the airport, correct? Kenneth says, which airport, Rome or Barcelona? Once we get off the Epic. We plan to take a train from Rome to the airport, but that could change if there is a lift on the bus for Chillie. We have a transfer booked with a vendor in Barcelona to take us to the ship. How many hours is the train from Civitavecchia? I think it's about 50 minutes, and then a transfer to Leonardo Express to the airport that would be about 30 minutes. Katie says the tunnel is so cool. Kenneth, the first class flight we found was $900 a person, but that was from Spain to Miami. $900 a person for first class? That's not bad. I would expect $900 to be economy. I just don't know about a wheelchair access bus if we get on NCL shuttle. If they do, I think it's about an hour trip direct to the airport. We had bus transfers to the airport, Tom, but I can't tell you how long, maybe 35, 45 minutes. It was quick. All right, that's good to know, Gretchen. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. It's goodness, I've gone a full hour again. What do you know? All right, guys. I'm not promising, but stay tuned. We might have shows this weekend, so I can make up. And I've got to cover a couple more shows for my sponsors this month. So, anyway, that's it for today, guys. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button if you haven't subscribed. Please consider doing so. You guys from X can subscribe to this channel, to my YouTube channel as well, and that would give you a lot more direct access. All right, guys. Subscribe. Did I say that? Yeah. Subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. I don't know. I don't know where I am today. I just completely lost it. Anyway, y'all have a great day. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas, guys. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.